Have some fun tonight. Go get us a W. Hell yeah. Ready. Green. What the copy? Right foot down. We got to go, player. Unbelievable, man. Way to keep your head in it. Holy oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah. Boy. Yeah. I'm done with it. It's your pace. Set sail. Steve, you look beautiful. Doing great. Ridiculous, man. Holy. You see that? Holy cow. Good job, man. 2 times, baby. Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah.
Wrap up those fryers, boys and girls. It's time for NWP tonight on DannyBTalks. I am, of course, Danny B, joined alongside my usual co-host, Jarrett the Iceberg Lundberg, Darian Gilliam, aka Black Flags Matter, and of course, Eric Eastep, the artist formerly known as Double E Dud on YouTube.
I don't have a cool AKA like the rest of y'all.
Yeah, you're now the artist formerly known as. That's what we call it.
That sounds pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, more official.
Put a few fun polls. You guys are pretty fun to those. Are we late? 61% say yes. 38% say no. But I think we're right on time, guys. Let's get right into it today. We had an interesting weekend over at Kansas Speedway. Jarrett was there. Before we get into it too much, I want to know what our hot takes are this week, starting with Mr. Eric.
Oh boy, now I'm Mr. Eric, no longer the artist formerly known as. That's not quite as cool. I don't know if mine's so much as a hot take. I know. I always screw this segment up. But just before we went live tonight, Adam Stern reported that Live Fast Motorsports responded no comment to recent rumors and industry chatter that they're considering selling their charter. And I would say, Danny's wearing the Live Fast crew shirt from when we sponsored their car this past year. Love the folks at Live Fast. They were nice enough to let me come check out their race shop earlier this spring, but I think they would be foolish not to consider selling. There's just too much money on the line. And BJ McLeod with BJ McLeod Motorsports, that's a fairly competitive Xfinity team. Do you know what they could do even if say they sell for 50 million, if 10 or 15 of that million are injected into their program, they could become a force to be reckoned with in Xfinity. And if they don't want to keep racing, BJ, Matt Tiff, that whole group could, go retire and live on a nice beach somewhere. But Live Fast Motorsports is not competitive. They have not shown any signs the past 3 years that they're getting any more competitive. So I think they would be foolish not to sell. Now, sell to who? Maybe we'll have some reckless speculation later in the show. But I just think with what charters are going for now, it's a no-brainer.
Jarrett, what do you think?
Well, mine is a completely different vein, side of the field, whatever way you want to put it here. This past week, there has been a lot of talk about what happened at Kansas, and a lot of that talk being between the 2 Hendrick teammates, and we'll talk about this a ton. I'm getting ahead of the curve on this one, though. I think everyone's wrong and a bit right about the whole situation. Now, let me explain. I don't think anyone has been completely right at all yet on this. Did Chase Elliott mean to send a message? Yes. That's why you door slam someone. Is Chase Elliott probably have on a tirade or a crusade or whatever raid you want against Kyle Larson? No, I don't think he is. I think that maybe they don't like each other. Maybe Chase doesn't like Kyle. But blowing this thing out of proportion the way it has been, I'm not going to go nuts and say that, I think everything is hunky-dory over there, but it is not the end of the world. It is there. This will be handled. Yes, it's probably went on longer than most Hendrick Motorsports teammate rivalries have, but it's because of just how competitive they are. I think people need to simmer down on both sides of this thing. It ain't that deep.
Simmer down. Anyways, Kansas to me is officially the best track on the NASCAR calendar out of all of them. Daytona, forget about it. Talladega, forget about it. The short tracks, you can certainly forget about them nowadays. The racing ever since we switched to the next gens has been nothing but consistent, has been the most consistent out of any of the tracks, in my opinion. I feel like Daytona, Talladega, it's either hit or miss. You'll get a wreck fest or an actual great race. But with Kansas, you know exactly what you're getting. And notice, I didn't say the best intermediate, just the best track, period. I believe Charlotte could be the best track on the circuit, but they're still running the Roval. So maybe once they switch it, maybe if they switch it from Roval to Oval, then we can have that conversation. But I'm going to go all in right now. Kansas is the best track on the NASCAR calendar. And to me, it's not even close.
We are going to Bristol Motor Speedway this weekend. Always look forward to the Bristol night race. Everyone loves it. Even last year's when it was kind of, interesting with all the parts failures and everything that happened in that one. But has Bristol become to a point where we don't know what to do with it anymore? It seems as if what I've been hearing, we don't have the NASCAR schedule yet for next year, and Bristol may be a big part of that reason because they haven't yet figured out what they want to do with the spring date for Bristol yet. Do we need to put dirt on it one more time, or does it even need to happen at all? I would actually say this weekend's going to tell us a lot, and we might actually get more progression with the NASCAR schedule once we see for sure whether Bristol is going to be like last year and be with the not so short track package. And I'm going to say, just for now, no Bristol spring race at all next year. They might re-sign that to another SMI track. That's my thoughts on it.
And Darian,
go ahead. I want to say this one for the chat.
I was gonna say I like Darian's hot take, but man, that's tough for me to hear on Bristol week.
Hey, once they fix the short track packages, then it might be good. Hey, it might be better racing.
I want to remind you all. Speaking of SMI tracks, this SMI track is getting a little active again on social media for the first time in 3 years. Kentucky Speedway started tweeting again.
Oh my gosh!
Would a Bristol race go to Kentucky?
No, that'd be crazy.
It's a similar market. Very conveniently, this car is good at these tracks.
Yeah. Once I started seeing those rumors, I remember what Ross Chastain said in his post-race interview at Atlanta 2022 in the spring. He said, "Kentucky's dead. We need you to just leave it there, bury it."
Oh, I agree.
I don't know. I'm somewhat intrigued by the next gen.
Yeah. So I think what Kentucky's been doing, basically, most of the Fords are, for the most part, no longer taking up every square inch of the facility anymore. That they're actually doing the Rusty Wallace racing experience there now.
Okay, that's interesting.
Ours on track.
But yeah, we'll see what happens with that though. But we had some awesome racing last week, didn't we, Danny?
Yes, we did. It was very interesting. The 45 car 2311 Racing has proved that while there might still be some kinks in their program and their pit crews can be spotty at best sometimes, for whatever reason, that 45 car has figured out Kansas because they have now won 3 of the 4 races at Kansas with the Gen 7 car. And the other one, oddly enough, went to the owner of 2311 Racing, Denny Hamlin. So it seems as if they've got a really good hold on everything. I feel like an idiot for not going with Tyler Reddick, even though I originally wanted to. I should have just trusted my gut on that one. But these guys took the big brain move this week.
Hey, but look, it was only because of that caution and the strategy call too there. I mean, like, that final caution just changed everything. Now, obviously, we'll get to that, but I mean, as far as the 45 is concerned, yeah, I mean, him, Hamlin, and poor Bubba would have been up there, I think, battling for the lead, a 1-2-3 finish, in my opinion, if he didn't have that failure.
Would you say he was a favorite?
Who? Bubba? Well, I thought he was underdog based on the points, but
yeah. He seemed to be putting down lap times that were very comparable to the leader.
Yeah, I don't go.
Jared put Darian on the spot, and Darian, you had a good response ready.
Yeah,
honestly.
there you go. See, yeah, you gotta think on the spot. But yeah, no, Bubba, I feel like he would have been a contender though, for if he with Hamlin and Tyler Reddick towards the end there. But hey, just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, I think 2311, and maybe you can broaden that to just Toyota in general, is as sure a bet at Kansas as any other sure bets in NASCAR these days. I mean, can we talk a little bit, though, about the last restart? Because even with all the wacky strategy, Denny Hamlin was the first car off pit road on 4 tires, and he just got beat on the restart, got too distracted with the guys laying back behind him. He was laying back behind the guy in front of him, and it was just a disaster.
Tyler Reddick did the classic move where he leaned forward in his chair to go faster.
Yeah, but hold on. Like, dude, first off, I know I'm getting a little bit sidetracked here from the Toyotas, but let's remember who was up there. Eric Jones, like, it was looking like, okay, like, did they just pull off the strategy move of the year there? Because not only was he running up front consistently for Legacy Motor Club, but like, there was a real chance he would have won that. And
side by side on the white flag.
Yeah. So you had a bunch of those cars up there, and then you had Hamlin going to the top, and then I believe Reddick took the bottom. And I thought that was a bad move because I didn't think they were going to get restarted there. But hey, it turned out to be the right call there. So good job.
It was
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah. What'd you think in the crowd? Like, what were the folks in the stands doing on that final? Like, first off, when the caution came out and you knew there was going to be overtime, what was the reaction? Because I've seen mixed reactions in crowds. Sometimes they go, "Oh,"
they went nuts.
Yeah,
like
I heard Hamlin got the most boos in driver intros.
I'll put it like this: that was probably the third loudest cheer I heard of the day. The first one was, of course, Chase Elliott. Second was Kyle Larson. And then as soon as the yellow flag came out, wow, like they all went nuts. and so, like, we had me and my dad were sitting in this row near the top, and right in front of us was a line of like 6 Kyle Busch fans who were very upset with
they travel in packs.
They remember, but they were not happy with the finish. My dad, I will say this, my dad is a huge Tyler Reddick fan. He has all of his available race win diecasts either in his man cave or ready to be sent. And so I have to admit, I was rooting for Tyler Reddick simply for that reason. And so I was pretty happy. It was funny because being a Junior fan so long, I should know that it ain't over till it's over. I like leaned over to him like he's pulling away and this. I'm like, he's gonna win. It's like, it's not over yet. Jarrett is not over yet. Goes past. I don't think I've seen him jump up in the air like that for like a win since the Minneapolis Miracle. But it was pretty cool to see, in all honesty. But the restart he had, I went back and watched it because in the moment you're just like a glass case of emotion watching the race in person. But watching it back, I thought that one, everything had to go right for him, but two, it was brilliant too, the moves he was making. Like whether it was going down to the bottom, swiping it up to the top, almost kind of diamonding the corner, then getting that run underneath Logano and Jones going 3 wide. The one thing I wanted to ask, because I don't know if they showed it on TV, and I want to know what you guys think. How fast did Suarez fall? Like, did they show how fast he fell back on TV? Because he looked stopped out there.
He fell so fast he fell off the screen. That's what happened.
Yeah,
it was insane.
I don't think did he even take any tires? I
No.
can't remember. Yeah, so he
He
didn't
didn't
take
hit at
tires.
all.
That's why.
Yeah, no, they showed one angle on the backstretch, and you could just see him just moving backwards, like moonwalking.
And he started on the top, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so
that
yeah. So hey, that's one of the reasons Hamlin lost, unfortunately. I mean, like it seemed like a right move at the time.
I'm gonna hold by this right now. Like Hamlin can make whatever excuses he wants. He can say about leaning back, going back in the restarts. He fell asleep at the start, like at the restart. He can say he was looking back. I believe Larson was behind him, but I mean, it's also your job as a veteran driver to know how to handle that and still get a good restart on top of that. So
it was Hamlin's fault.
I have it on him.
Yeah, it's definitely Hamlin's fault, but I do think he was, they were on tires, and I actually just went back because I took a screenshot. Suarez actually picked the bottom, so things were lined up really well for Hamlin.
All right.
But Hamlin, I mean, he explained it, and I think he was telling the truth. He was on tires, so he was trying to lay back a little from whoever was just in front of him because he wanted to have the opportunity to go 3 wide into turn 1. But he saw Larson hanging back even further, so to defend that, he laid back more. I think he was telling the truth when he explained it after the race and then on his podcast. He got a little too focused on what Larson was doing that, he missed his own jump. And it is on him. But I think he was right. Like he was just distracted by those around him.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got to be better. I mean, yeah, you got to do better than that. But hey, at least in his case, though, he couldn't lose either way, I guess, right? Got an owner's victory, I guess.
Well, he still finished second too. Like I saw Reddick doing this, and behind him was just that big scrum. Because all day it was every restart, it was 3-4 wide, and I swear I don't know if it showed up on TV, but at one point they were 5 wide, like going either in the corner or to the backstretch. Darian, I might be with you. Kansas and Charlotte right now with this car are just
seriously.
They are can't miss TV. I wish this weekend wasn't week 1 of the NFL. I almost wish that if they could push the finale up like 2 weeks, this race could open the playoff or be a round deciding race.
Just think about how good this car could have been at Chicagoland.
Oh, yeah, you never say never though.
They're racing this weekend, just not 4 wheels.
Yeah, never say never. Never say never. But
They're
yeah,
running
I mean,
Chicagoland dirt this weekend.
yeah, look, if I were in charge, I would either make Charlotte, Kansas, or Vegas the championship finale. I think that would put on a terrific show, but Kansas will never be it because number one, it's SMI, correct?
No, it's IC.
Yeah.
Well, they're-
ISC.
they're on-
Okay.
yeah.
So it does have a shot. Okay, but I wouldn't put it. I mean, I guess it'll never be that just because of the weather and going up against the Chiefs, I guess.
I think you could work with the Chiefs. I think it's just the weather. I mean, I was there in 2020. That was miserable. I mean, it was absolutely miserable. And I grew up in the Midwest.
Yeah, it looked cold.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. What ISC has outside of Homestead, you really don't have anything like this that could fit well for that time of year.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Before we move away from the final restart too much, and I know we'll talk about points in a moment, but Joey Logano, I saw Alessandro and a couple others in the chat mention Joey Logano. I mean, that strategy decision to pit for 2 tires, he gained 10 points, 10 points on the cut line. He was on the cut line, 12th place on the grid before the caution. And then after the caution, thanks to the strategy call and thanks to the fact that Logano is just a great restarter, he
single-handedly saved the season.
It might have. Like, he is in such a different position going into Bristol now just because of that call.
That's why it's oh, good. So
I'm just trying to think. When's the last time he's won the Bristol night race, hasn't he? I just don't remember when.
He has 2 Bristol wins. I want to say he did in like 2015.
Yeah, I think it was I think it was 15. I think it was 15.
We got the points going on the bottom right now, and he would, 10 points. He'd be 2 points ahead of Truex right now and not ahead of Harvick.
Yeah, but that's why it's a team game here. I mean, I have to have the crew chief to make the right calls towards the end and the driver to execute them. So, hey, yeah, if there was like a little scuffle in the back, maybe you could have won. Maybe, I don't know. Like, a lot would have had to happen, but you never know.
Chad is saying Logano won in 15 and 14. I forgot about 2014.
There you go.
Race.
And then,
and Bristol Dirt.
He won Bristol Dirt 21, but we kind of consider that a separate track now. So
that's right.
I'll tell you what, though, going back really quick, if they don't scan for Cup Series, they don't scan Chicagoland Dirt for iRacing, I can't be associated anymore with doing anything like that. That is a must-have on iRacing, jumps and all. It goes outside of the fence too. Like, you go to turn 1, they had to take some of the catch fence out so they can go outside the track and back in.
They may actually want it because of the rally cars that are on iRacing.
Yeah, no, those are fun. Those are always fun to race.
But yeah, you talked about it, Eric, kind of moving on from the finish for a moment. Like, what about the start? Okay, because this for me, like, this is the first moment where I had my, Dale Jr. Oh, we got a car on the wall at the track. Like, I was going nuts. My dad.
He said, "Oh, there's a car on the wall, by the way, because it might cut out a little."
Your mic cuts out. It's usually mine. But yeah, no, it was amazing on TV. Now on the big screen, my big TV, I had the football games going, NFL Red Zone. So shout out to my Rams getting the dub. But obviously, I was streaming with Garage Guy Chase on one of his platforms, and we were watching the race. I was watching the race on there, and oh my gosh, like 3 to 5 laps in, we're already like screaming and yelling and stuff. Like, what is going on? It's only lap 5, bro. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he was the regular season champion. I think he was tied for the number 1 seed going in. So you think he can get away with 1, maybe 2 bad races in this round and still be fine, right? Well, yeah. I mean, I guess technically, yes, we still have Bristol to go. Darlington was an issue. They had, I think Truex said later, they had like a bent suspension piece all day long and didn't realize it. So that's why they ran so bad and were irrelevant at Darlington. But so that was on them. You think you could say that one, their issues were self-inflicted there, if anything. But Kansas, as far as we can tell, that was just the worst case of bad luck I've seen in a long time, because James Small tweeted the photo of that like puncture, the little tiny hole in the tire. He must have just driven over something, exiting pit road, on the pace laps, on the apron. I don't know where, but like, drop of the green flag, he was going backwards. So it was clear immediately that tire was leaking air. And to wreck on lap 3 and finish last. I mean, the fact that he's only like 7 points below the cut line, that's all those regular season points going to work. He's even still well within striking distance.
I want to say the puncture too, from what the picture looked like, was like only the size of like the top of this pen. Like
wasn't much.
I had to actually zoom in when I first saw the tweet to actually like see where the actual puncture was. So that is the probably the worst luck I've seen somebody have at the start of a race that I've ever been to. Like,
Well, that's
Like-
probably
like obviously didn't happen, but it almost looked like it was so small. It's like you think someone just shot his tire.
You can also make the argument this might be the worst start for any, like, I don't know, not just regular season champion, but any, like, preconceived, like contender or yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah,
Like,
for one of the preseason favorites. Yeah.
The last one I could think of was Jimmy Johnson 2015, and that was because a $15 part broke on his car at Dover.
Exactly. Like and this is the regular season champion, so it's even more crazier to me because you feel like, I don't know, I felt like, okay, like, regular season champion, okay, it's like mostly irrelevant to us and stuff, but it's not irrelevant as far as the playoff points is concerned. You get those extra points, but damn, I didn't think this was possible, honestly.
He also had the least amount for a 1 seed going in the history.
That is true.
Of it.
Well, then, that makes a big difference.
The playoff points were closer together this year than they usually are.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, that makes a big difference then. Yeah.
Obviously not the same, but it's almost like the Aaron Rodgers thing. Came in as such a highly anticipated favorite, and then immediately out in like lap 3, and the season might be over for him.
Dude, I knew somebody was going to make a reference to that, bro. I knew it.
Yeah. No, but I was in shock almost the same way. I mean, I don't remember who all picked who to win the championship. I had Truex winning the championship, and this is now 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row where my championship pick might be a round of 16 exit. Yeah. I'm struggling over
Darian,
here.
did you have him in the final 4?
I probably did, yeah.
Because I know I did.
So yeah, I think everyone did.
We
yeah,
all did.
Yeah, and I think pretty much everyone's playoff brackets would be busted at that point, right?
And I mean, he could still theoretically save himself. Yeah. But as I was telling these guys, I've seen Truex run good at Bristol before. I've also seen him crash out in the Bristol night race before.
Yeah, we're gonna get either or, I feel like.
What was that stat that was going around? Was it like in his last 10 or 20 starts, he's had like 2 top 10s at Bristol?
All I know is he has 2 career top 5s at Bristol Concrete, and they both came during his MWR days. It's been a while.
Damn.
I remember the 2018 night race. He was one of the fastest cars.
Yeah,
had a legitimately good shot at winning, and had Kyle Busch had a crashed car already spun out earlier, and he was driving like a man on a mission, coming back from that crash, and then just driving like a maniac almost, and he made contact with Truex, and that ended his day.
Yeah, but if you're a Martin Truex Jr. fan, not all hope is lost. Again, he ran pretty well during the regular season and stuff, and I know he's off to a terrible start, but he's had some success at Bristol before, and it's still the 19 Joe Gibbs team, so I'm not going to totally count them out.
And you look at who's ahead of him in points. Christopher Bell, that pit crew has shot themselves in the foot at every stop almost the last 2 weeks. Joey Logano,
isn't that the same? Isn't it the same pit crew that was with Ty Gibbs? It was so good they said come over.
Yeah.
He's got Kevin Harvick in front of him in points. And again, he's only 7 points out. So if Truex can just run top 10 all night, get some stage points, he'll probably run better than Harvick. He might even run better than Logano. Like, Truex is not out of it. He doesn't need to be top 5. He just needs to not, have a flat tire on lap 1.
Yeah. Now, really quick, Dirty Def, he finished last, but that was because of a parts failure. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to put that on him.
Is this the race last year where he flipped off his engine?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. God.
Yep.
I was going to say good times, but it was not good times. It was very sad times.
It was good times for us.
Yeah, it was funny times.
Like, I remember that night. We all had a lot of content for Twitter.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Funny thing about last year when he had issues, I believe, at Kansas. I had a Truex fan sitting right in front of me.
Oh man,
that's brutal, man. That it really is.
Big giant 19 on the back of his hat. And
you can go home.
Well, I think it's somewhere. Someone probably can find it from my Twitter, but I took a picture of Truex going down pit road smoking with this dude right in front of me with just the caption "pain," and it was perfect.
That is painful.
Did they leave though? I want to ask that.
Yeah. Like in the last 10 laps, probably to beat traffic, but that was about it.
Have you guys, I know we've all been to a lot of races. I know you guys were all junior fans. Like, have y'all ever been to a race like that where Dale Jr. or your favorite guy just KO'd on, okay, what happened, Darian?
Well, I don't know if it's KO. They were just pretty much irrelevant the entire race.
I got you on one. I was at Michigan in 2012 when he won. I came back the next year in the Superman car. That car sounded beautiful. I mean, it was so clean. Like everyone's like that, and it's just like it's you could tell the difference. You could hear the speed. And then one time he comes around, I'm like, and I don't think I've cussed that much ever in front of my parents.
Jarrett, that wasn't
exodus.
That wasn't a good difference, Jarrett. That was the car getting ready to blow up.
That's what that's what I'm saying. Like that's when I heard that difference. And I'm like, I have never seen so many people leave the stands.
I've never left a race early, but the 2021 Daytona 500 was obviously one that was kind of like what I was like, why am I here? Because we just had an infield pass that wouldn't even really give us a chance to really see the race, and we of course it was COVID, had to wear masks, and was kind of sad about that part. And then I just go to get a Philly cheesesteak on lap 11, look up, Bowman's out of the race. And then it starts raining, and we have to wait around for hours just to see the finish.
Yeah, we had to wait and see them run single file in the cold.
I have no
that is painful.
I have no disrespect for Christopher Bell, but I'll tell you what, my fiance will not root for Bell ever again because of that race. She's like, he ruined my Daytona 500, and I froze my ass off for 5 hours to watch him go in a train the whole race.
She is somebody that would have been interesting if she was there the year before when her driver won, but it was such a weird feeling.
Hi David Bell, if you're in the chat. If you're watching.
Yeah, I have nothing against Christopher.
Yeah.
Her on the other hand,
not so much.
I dodged a bullet where you didn't, Danny. Mine would have been Texas 2020 fall race. It was the Wednesday race, but I only went for Sunday. It was my last chance to see Matt Kenseth race NASCAR in person. You know, he's in the 42. He was running like 23rd, 20th, whatever it was. We did not stay until Wednesday, but I remember watching the race Wednesday. I was like, all right, they're finally restarting it. And Matt Kenseth ran out of talent and crashed Bubba on lap like 50. And I was like, I'm so glad I did not stay for that. That would have been devastating.
I remembered one. I remembered one from deep in the memory bank. So this was Danica Patrick's first oval start at Vegas. And I was interested. I was at the race. I'm like, okay, let's see how she does. I think she wrecked within like the first 30, 40 laps. And then pretty much damn near the entire grandstand leaves. I kid you not. They're like, okay, I've seen
I remember that one. She crashed into Michael McDowell.
Oh yeah, that's right. She did it.
Yeah, and then he apologized. I was like, "What are you doing, man?"
He's so nice. He's so nice.
I don't know. You're not nice to Joey Logano. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, he's changed. Yeah, that was 2010. This is 23.
Kind of. I swear I did not mean to lead us off into the weeds on that one.
These conversations are interesting.
Yeah, this is a healing moment for all of us.
It's a natural. It's the natural flow of things. It's fine.
I mean, I know that I don't know about Danny and Darian, but Eric, you were at Texas in 2015 with the free mat, right?
No, I did not go that year because I was boycotting.
Really? Okay, wait.
I skipped that race. I don't even think I watched it on TV.
Was I the only one who went to a race? Danny, maybe you went to Bristol. Like, was I the only one that went to a race where my favorite driver wasn't racing? Unless you went to 16 at Bristol. I know it rained.
Yeah. I was at the 16 night race.
Okay, because I was at Chicagoland. That was the weirdest damn feeling. I was like, I need to figure out what I'm doing because this does not feel right, and I am not into this whatsoever.
I think my only catalyst was I just still rooted for the 80. I think it was Gordon driving it, so I still rooted for Jeff Gordon.
What a weird time.
That was the rainout one, right?
Yes, we came back the next day and watched Harvick win, and then Tony Stewart did the burnout. Basically, I think their strategy was, hey, if we get any more wins, Tony needs to do a burnout with me because he won't get another chance to.
He sure wasn't winning at the end. He had like a one-off pop-off at Sonoma, and that was it. But yeah, there's some weird-ass races to be at. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, we are healing, but you know who else needs to be healing right now? Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson need to be healing because what is going on with those two? Why do they keep getting like under each other's skin?
Yeah, I'll kind of piggyback off of Jarrett's early point. I think it's just it's a tad bit overblown there. Look, I mean, it's pit lane, gotta, there was an accident and stuff. Now, I didn't think Chase was definitely not in the right. It's like, okay, like if you're pissed off about that, I think you just talk it out after the race and stuff, like, hey, what happened there? Like, I don't know, just imagine if he accidentally cuts a tire or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, those scenarios could happen, then it would be a whole lot worse. But thankfully that didn't happen. And, it's just Larson and Elliott. They seem to have this, these riffs every now and then, So,
yeah,
it's interesting.
I mean, I think the actual incident on Sunday wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, sure, it's not a good look to swerve and hit your teammates right front with 2 laps to go over. I know Chase didn't realize that Larson was kind of forced up into him, but regardless, it's your teammate. You should cut him some slack in that moment, especially since he's in the playoffs and you're not. But what I think isn't being overblown is the bigger picture. And I talked about this on my show, but Chase Elliott, and actually Daniel Trotta also, I think, spelled this out better than any of us can this week. But Chase Elliott has made several questionable decisions this year. I feel like I've seen him lose his cool more than I'm used to seeing. And you go back to 2020 Phoenix, Jimmy Johnson passing the torch to Chase Elliott. It's his team. He's the champion. And then Kyle Larson shows up the next year and wins 10 races and wins his own championship. And suddenly Chase Elliott's second fiddle, just like that. He had a week where he was the king of Hendrick. And all of a sudden there's this new guy, Larson. And don't look now, there's another new guy named William Byron, who's the winningest driver in Cup this year. So
literally like the older brother throwing a tantrum because the baby's getting more attention.
I mean, I don't want to try to psychoanalyze Chase Elliott. I just don't like him after the race saying, "Oh, there was no message being sent there." It's like, dude, you just swerved into your teammate on pit road. What are you talking? I feel like Chase Elliott, he's always, when he talks, he's trying to de-escalate, write off anything. Hey, there's no trouble. Everything's cool. Everything's fine. I'm Chase Elliott. I'm mellow. It's all chill. But on the track, Chase Elliott's been kind of a loose cannon at times, and the two just don't match up, and it's starting to annoy me, honestly.
Well, it's it's kind of further ends version of Joey Logano. I know Elliott fans are gonna hate me saying that, but hear me out. On the track, Joey Logano's an asshole. That's the best way I can put it. People hate him. Off the track, I can't think of a nicer guy. Joey Logano off the track is a nice guy, and everyone sees him as two-faced. On the track, I don't think people realize how aggressive Elliott is, and it's not a bad thing. I'm not dissing him on that. I like aggression, and I think that he should at times be more aggressive. But off the track, it is very much the same. Yes, he doesn't say the same line, but it's very much the same. Hate it for my guys, Chase, and I'm with you on that, and that's part of what I said that I agreed on Daniel Trotta with. He needs to own it. Just own it. I mean, you're the most popular driver. People are going to eat it up. It's obvious this week he's been trolling the media, with the little, oh, you guys like to blow it out of proportion. Well, if you actually listened, it's fine like that. I like that. Just keep that the whole time. It's so similar with so many drivers now. I said Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, we've had this conversation with. We probably could talk about 5 or 6 others. He owns it, man. I respect that even more than just being aggressive on the track. And you know what? If he wants to send a message, it's not necessarily that terrible, because I really don't think he hit Larson that hard. I think in general, people are trying to make a bigger story out of this than it is, because they gotta have something for the new Netflix documentary.
Yeah, and also too, it's Hendrick, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, 2 champions, happen to be teammates, of course.
In a way, this is just perfect, because literally these two are just Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson all over again. Their fan bases, if you put them against each other, were insufferable at times. Wanting to compare each other between Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson. Now we literally have the same thing, but it's Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson.
I'll say this: when that stuff went on, there were, I said there were a lot of Busch fans. There were a lot of Elliott fans too, and I've noticed this at Martinsville, Kansas, Daytona, anywhere I go. Chase Elliott fans, and I'm not saying all y'all, but Chase Elliott fans do not like Kyle Larson. There is a clear
they will boo him. They'll boo him.
Yeah, there is a clear rivalry there. And
I'll say it again. Don't look now. Here comes Willie B. He's finally coming into his own.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think, at least this year, I don't think it's unfair at all to say that Chase Elliott's fallen to third fiddle.
It's like that meme in the poll. You have basically make it two parents, one holding up Chase Elliott, the other one holding up Kyle Larson. Here's William Byron.
Yeah.
Alex Bowman is down there just a skeleton.
Yeah, well, I mean, with 36 races, I mean, like, at some point, it's like, hey, what have you done for me lately? And yeah, I have to agree, he's third fiddle this year.
No, but to be fair, I mean, Chase, I know he's won this year, but he's been pretty consistently good. Chase, Larson, Byron are all really good. There's not that huge of a disparity between their abilities, their performance. But they're exactly, they all drive for arguably the best team in NASCAR. Two of them have won two of the most recent championships. There's going to be that rivalry. I think it's great for us. And yeah, if Chase Elliott wants to lean into it and not try to downplay everything, good content.
Even just reading our chat here is kind of interesting what I see. I'm one of the Chase fans who like Larson. I'm a fan of both Elliott and Larson. Then there's dislike says 9 sucks.
Byron, big hat Byron the GOAT. I see that in the chat.
Oh my gosh.
I love that the hat is just becoming part of him.
Yeah. He needs something.
That sounds like a bad Meat Canyon video.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see them do something on NASCAR at some point.
That would be funny.
Some weird body horror and gore with the big hats.
Mm-hmm.
Victory never tasted so good. And anyway, let's go to who didn't win.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about some of the playoff struggles like Truex. McDowell was kind of just really just a no-show. Stenhouse. I didn't see where Stenhouse finished, but I know he had issues.
He was outside the top 20. He kept scraping the wall like 2-3 times, man. It's ridiculous.
The thing is with Stenhouse, I figured he'd be a lot. He's far back, but he's not as far back as I think he could be right now.
No, he's
That's
a lot
true.
closer. Yeah, I figured McDowell would be that far back instead of what he is now. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Chris Buescher had a tire go down late that caused the final caution and final restart. But he's still, I think, plus 13. So it hurt, but didn't, kill him, I guess, in the points. William Byron was the interesting one. I know I just praised him, talked about how he's here. This is his breakout season, but I mean, he spun out early on and then just kind of ran 15th the rest of the day. So
yeah,
just one race probably, but
speed wise, he looked like a no-show. Like we can talk about Truex 2 weeks in a row, all that. I think this is just a one-off. I think, Bristol could do anything, but I think moving forward, I'm not going to worry about him yet. But it was really odd because even before the spin, he wasn't necessarily fast.
Wasn't he like just barely top 10 or like sort of just flirting with the top 5? Yeah. Yeah. He wasn't like his usual self. But I'll just put it as a one race slump. There you go.
I think Milton probably has it right here. He says, I suspect that the spin caused diffuser damage on the 24. It was from the banking to the flat. So
there you go.
Possible.
Yeah. There you go.
Bubba Wallace, though, of playoff drivers, that he was the biggest missed opportunity of the day. I'll let you talk about it a little bit, Darian, because you had him as an underdog. I think everyone knew he was going to be a top 5 threat and just flat tire.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, just based off of where he was in the points, I'm like, okay, you know what? This is one of his, usual tracks. Okay. Worst case scenario, top 5. You'll bag some points, be in a good position for Bristol at the very least. Nope. Just it ended like right then and there. I believe he was running top 5, while that happened too. Oh, well, there you go. Even worse.
He was
running
actually
second.
Before any issue happened. And I when I see these issues, I give it 5 or so laps. I was watching on the NASCAR app. He was running the fastest laps on the track. He was running down Kyle Larson.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, man. But he seemed to have handled it well. And, that's one of the criticisms we've had is like, handling tough situations. Very beginning of the year, you were like, oh gosh, like what's going to happen towards, and, he's able to overcome that stuff. And look, he's had some success at Bristol in the past. I remember 2018 spring, he was leading the race with Richard Petty.
He also fell to 18th in like 60 laps. Like,
hey, still
his track record is not very good there.
That was such a weird race for him because he literally ran down, got the lead, and like almost immediately lost it and fell.
Didn't he pass Kyle Busch for the lead? Wasn't
he passed Kyle Busch for the lead?
Yeah.
Brad, I can't remember. It might have been both of them.
He passed both of them. That was so weird. It's like, okay, well, he's fast. Oh nope, there it goes.
Yeah, but I feel like at this point, like I don't know, like he would need a win, but I don't see him winning Bristol. I see him running well there, but I mean, a lot would have to happen for him to get in on points. I feel.
I tell you who I am looking at. You talk about Bubba. Right behind him, Ricky Stenhouse. Like I said, he's not as far back as I think he could be. He's only minus 22. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., this is actually statistically outside of like a super speedway. This is his best track. He's got an average finish of 17th, but it could be higher. He's unfortunately his last few years been anchored down by some horrible finishes. Actually, last year finished 22nd, 2021 finished 20th, 2020 finished 40th, but he has had 7 top 10s and 4 top 5s here at Bristol. Most of those coming, honestly, in Roush's worst years. But don't count out Ricky Stenhouse Jr. This is statistically his best track. You know, I don't know where he needs to aim for, but if he could somehow keep his car in a top 10, he very well could still move on.
Well, that begs the question, Danny, and I want to start with you on this. 4 drivers currently out are Truex, Bubba Wallace, Stenhouse, and McDowell. Do any of them advance? And if so, who's out instead?
Most likely, I would say Truex would be the one to move forward. And if he makes it, it just depends on the days of Logano and Harvick, I think. I think the rest above them should theoretically do fine at this track.
I'll go next on this one. I'm going to say Truex is the most likely, but I would say Stenhouse is that dark horse to go for the win. So one of those two. I'm leaning Truex just because it's easier with points. There's a guy that sucks at this track, and he's not been good here in the past. He's been eliminated because of this race. He seems safe now, but so did Truex and so did many other drivers before the last 2 weeks. Ryan Blaney is not good at this track.
He's not.
He's 6th right now. I'd have to go with him.
Look, just go to Google Images, look up Ryan Blaney Bristol crash, and the question is not what year, which one?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
which one?
I say, damn it, because so coming into this round, my 4 eliminations were McDowell, Stenhouse, Bubba, and Blaney. Blaney has impressed me these last 2 weeks. They haven't been, outright amazingly fast, but he's run like between 6th and 10th at Darlington and then at Kansas. And for the most part, at least off the top of my head, they've avoided any major mistakes. So he's got that nice 25-point cushion, but I've seen the same stats as you, Jarrett. And I don't fully trust that team's speed. I think Ryan Blaney, if I was going to pick anyone in like the top 8 or 9 in points who they crashed out, what? I'd probably pick Ryan Blaney. I think Truex will get in. I think he's going to outrun Harvick all day, and I think Harvick will be out unless, I don't know, he pulls a rabbit out of a hat. But Blaney is the guy I think is most likely to wreck and be the surprise early elimination. I will give him this, though. Last year, I went back and looked. He was running, I believe, inside the top 5 in this race. And I think it was early, but he was inside the top 5 when he blew a tire and hit the wall. And then I think he had a loose wheel on pit road and fell even further back. He was at least running well before issues last year. So you never know.
Though I think the big one, was 2018 or 19. He was leading and he got crashed. By the way, Danny, I did what you said, and I looked up Ryan Blaney Bristol crash, and 6 different crashes I counted came up.
That worst one was that spring 2018 one when he was leading.
Was that the one? Was that the one too, where he's like walking away from the car, just like his hand on his head? Because I've seen that picture everywhere. It's a great photo.
And what was it? Just a Rick Ware car blew a tire? Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's what. Or him and I think Trevor Bayne and someone else had sort of made contact, and that's what it started.
A teammate of his was involved.
I think one of the worst ones was it was 2020 when he just kind of spun out, was fine, and Ty Dillon plowed into him. It was the other way around. I don't remember
that one. But yeah, I'll go next. But Truex, I could obviously see, pointing his way in. And that would mean now, as far as the bottom 3, I think they'd be out of it. But since he would point his way in, obviously that means somebody would have to get bumped out. Jared just mentioned a Penske car. Joey Logano, I know we're going to Bristol. It's kind of his bread and butter to some extent. But the problem is that team has been so inconsistent for the most part. And Eric, you had mentioned it earlier. They gained 10 points off of one strategy call. They should really be ahead by +2, but thankfully, good crew chief, good driver executing the final restart there. They were able to save their day somewhat. But I could see them, going through some problems, just having an off day, and then either Truex just, running away from them. So I could see Logano being knocked out personally.
By the way, just for Need for Speed to notice, I looked it up, and Ty Dillon definitely did an oopsie because Ryan Blaney had spun out, was fine, and then Ty Dillon did not miss him and just destroyed his car.
Remember, y'all picked him to win Daytona, but it sort of worked out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Yep. That's our thoughts on the playoffs. And now let's talk a little bit about what the old I ratings gave us. What did TV have to say about this? Well, for this one, we saw a little bit down. 1.760 million people tuned into this race, and we hit a percentage of 22% in the key demographic, and we're down 6% from 2022. This is the lowest for this particular weekend since 2019. And that's does need to be pointing out though. 2018 to 2021 were held on Saturdays. And the one caveat: this was competing with opening weekend of NFL.
Well, I mean, this weekend always has for Sunday races, but I will point this out. I think the real NFL effect comes with the 18 to 34, which is part of that. That plummeted this weekend. You take a wild guess. How many people between that the key demo 18 to 49 is what we talked about. How many people between 18 and 34 do y'all think watched the race this weekend out of the 1.75 million that watched?
I'm afraid to ask.
Like, any guesses?
Just tell us.
250,000.
96,000. It was
Damn.
less
Honestly.
than, it was 5% of the total viewership was 18 to 34, which is way lower than the rest of the season so far, from what I can tell. So that's I think where you saw the biggest draw away from. But I mean, that's the part I will say, like, NFL against it, you can't really fix that happening. You're gonna go against it. As long as the networks want them to, they will. But not great.
Well, those ratings don't matter as much to us. What really matters to us is, what do you guys think? What is the poll, Jared's weekly poll?
And it's time for the poll, the famous iceberg poll on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast.
Well,
And
yeah, go for it.
yeah, I got this. 18% of people thought this was a great race. 62% thought it was good, which gave us an 80% net positivity rating for this. So overall, not pretty good. 16% people said average, which I would still say you have a point for that. Only 2% said below average. Only 2% said bad. So only 4% of people would say this was a negative race. So overall, this was a perfect race.
The first comment is, man, this got to be like 4 weeks in a row. Spencer got it again. We might start doing random comment. Like, I'll just put a random number generator and just do that. I feel bad, Spencer, but you're on it, man. But Spencer put it, so positive, negative, or meme.
I'll say positive.
Meme.
I'll say meme.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. About half the playoff drivers had problems and said that in this race.
Meme.
Yeah. I mean, it was a meme.
You should know by now. It's Spencer. It's got the memes on like down pat.
I thought he was gonna switch it up, man. Spencer, ooh, you got me there.
Except for that 1 week where Suggs was fast on his paws,
Well, the top comment came from NASCAR Comparisons, who said Reddick went from literally being on fire at Darlington to being on fire to get the win at Kansas the next week. A long time coming and very needed win for Reddick. Twister says, I don't know, man. I don't know how you cannot enjoy that race. This was another Kansas banger. Coming down a little bit through here. This one from Birdleg says, dirty air is definitely becoming a problem. Parts of this race gave me Kansas 2020 vibes.
Oh, damn. Interesting.
It's tough when the wall becomes the preferred lane really early in the run. So it does make it hard to pass the leader. I think maybe the leader was passed once under green flag condition in this race. I don't know for sure. That's an unofficial stat, but it's tough.
It felt like it.
NASCAR Shill says, thank you, Steve Phelps, Steve O'Donnell, and Ben Kennedy. What a great race.
Of course.
Yep. That's on brand.
Daniel Blackwell says, I felt so bad for Bubba. And Real Baron says, I feel bad for Truex. He has bad luck for 2 weeks. see it further down. I got it on this on the desktop, so it's taking a while to load some of the comments. There's one here from Lil Red Racer who says, "It's a good thing Larson didn't win this one." Wow. I'm gonna take a wild guess on who he roots for.
Yeah, Chase Elliott.
I'm only gonna say this for my own selfish need. From Bronco King 24 says, "Bring back Chicagoland. One race there and one race at Kansas."
Yeah, like the way it used to be. There you go.
Adam MRTR says 3 out of 10.
What?
Yeah.
No, just don't even watch no more.
And then we got the 3 gutter comments here.
Are they good enough to read though?
They are. I think they are. We got nobody who says, "Lol, Denny choked."
That's just funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
We got username. I'm not going to read that username. I'm not going to fall for one of these again. But says Kansas is a bigger wild card than Talladega. Changed my mind. And the sloth nerd says, "Meh."
Well, those are actually relatively tame compared to others.
Well, man, to you too.
Well, I'm gonna actually really quick. I'm gonna send it in our private Twitter chat what that one was, and I will tell whether or not you guys find it amusing from your reactions. So that was the poll.
And that'll conclude the poll, the famous iceberg poll on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast.
Jarrett said, "I'm not going to fall for this name again." And I look at the name he just sent our chat.
What the hell?
I don't think there's any way you fall for that. It's pretty upfront about what it is.
I was thinking it was going to be our friend Mr. Dover or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Anyways, moving on.
I think that should be actually a common thing with the poll, is see if you can get Jarrett to fall for something not too bad, like not too bad.
Okay,
the internet, Jarrett. Be careful.
Okay, good point.
Don't you all get any ideas?
Yeah, we good. But yeah, so was there any more racing this past weekend, Danny?
No racing. They actually announced this the last weekend of racing. They were happening again.
Damn.
Okay. They've outlawed it. What was that one movie? They banned dancing. Now they ban racing.
Yep.
I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, so next
Footloose. There you go.
Next week we are talking about knitting sweaters. Next week, yep.
Knitting weekly podcast. But anyways, back to reality. Yeah, the Xfinity race happened. That was cool.
How did you forget Footloose?
Bro, how old's that movie, bro?
That's Kevin Bacon.
It's
It
before
don't
our
matter how
time,
old
to be
it is.
fair. Not to date us too bad, but
you gotta get Footloose.
Loose. Yeah.
I mean, hell, I would have
Song
at
is
least
catchy.
respected you if you remembered the damn Blake Shelton cover.
Bro, nobody
Blake
watches
Shelton
Footloose
covered
like
that?
Yeah, it used to be on all the
he did?
NASCAR races back
Oh,
in 2011.
He did. That's right.
Yeah.
I
We're
don't remember
nerds.
that.
We should remember it. Anyway, yeah, I'll be real. The Xfinity race is probably the worst race of the weekend, and it wasn't even bad.
Now, was one of the highlights, of course, Klickerman and Herbst got together, didn't they?
On a restart. Yeah.
On a restart. And didn't it puncture Herbst's tire?
That was brutal.
Correct? Dude, I want to defend Herbst, man, because obviously I made the video on him last year and stuff, but oddly enough, ever since then, he's performed better. He performed way better than he usually does. But for the most part, his crew, his team let him down with all those massive engine failures. Now, he could have done better in the previous 2 races, but still, that's got to be a heartbreaker, because he was well on his way to locking himself into the playoffs there on points, but then just had a bunch of bad stuff happen.
Just everything. As much as we want to clown on SHR today, he's literally installing some of the best equipment possible, and he's not showing any reason why they need to promote him into the Cup Series currently.
No, the only way they would promote him is just off of money. That's it at this point.
I
just want to go back.
Go for it.
Yeah, I want to go back and look, because he started the year off with something like 6 or a bunch of top 10s in a row, right?
We have the same mindset here. Yep.
Because I just remember he started the year off so well, and you even got. We were joking, we were memeing. He even got a top 10 in the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
We're like, wow. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight top 10s to begin the season.
He was second in points after the 7th race at Richmond and collapsed to 11th. 11th by Chicago.
And that's just regular season points, because there are guys that won.
Yeah.
Cole Custer obviously did just horrendous in Cup, but he still came back and he still won races this year in the same equipment.
Yeah.
I'll say
it's
this.
a
I
shame.
thought I think Riley Herbst got a little better this year and showed that he was a little better this year. But like even the incident on Sunday, and I'd have to go back and watch it. It was a tough spot because Kligerman misses a shift or whatever happened there. He slows down. Guys are going wide. Guys are going low. Guys are going middle. Like, Riley kind of stuck his nose into a hole that probably wasn't there. And I get it. Split second, you have to make a decision. Lift, go for it, left, right. But ultimately, that's what being a race car driver is making the right decision in those split second moments. It's all about your reflexes and your decision making. And I just think there's still moments like that where maybe he made the wrong call, and that is going to hold him back. That's going to keep him from having consistent success in Xfinity, and it'll probably prevent him from moving up to the Cup Series full time, unless that terrible Herbst, monster money is really, really something.
It's very intriguing. It's hard to resist. Hard to resist. But poor guy.
Well, it is. He had the speed to be up there too. He was running top 10 until that point for almost the entire race.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. But hey, it is what it is. But hey, Brendan Jones though, I saw him. He was running in the top 5 for some moments, and we had talked about
he was top 2. He was up there running with John Hunter.
Yeah, and we were talking about, hey, if there was any track, he would get a surprise victory, it would be this, but didn't happen. But hey, congrats to John Hunter, man. Cup Series ready. Ready.
And we'll get to the points later. I was so happy when he won because I was like, I moved the third, and you'll see where I'm at.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, the truck race, man, that in person was so fun throughout the entire night. Nope. What you looking up over there, Danny?
Sorry, Claudia sent me a video for some reason. I didn't realize it had a lot of audio to it.
It's all good. But that was awesome.
The green flag racing was great. The restarts were awesome. It wasn't a wreck fest. I think what was there only, including the stage cautions, I think there were only 5 cautions in the truck race.
Yeah, no, seriously. Now, hey, can the Truck Series be like that every week? I know we rag on the Truck Series sometimes, but I mean, there is some legit talent in here, man. Like they're able to race like this all the time and stuff. Oh my gosh! But hey, no, that wasn't just a good truck race. That was a great truck race. That was awesome. Yeah,
I enjoyed it, and just like Cup, it featured a 3-wide pass for the win late. So, I mean, good drama. Congrats to Christian Eckes. How many wins is that for him this year? Is that his second win?
Oh, second, right?
I think so.
Yeah, Atlanta. Yeah, he won at Atlanta. Yeah, second win.
But and also, does that mean the first round or the round of 8 is set? Correct. DiBenedetto was eliminated. Yes. Credit to Matt DiBenedetto. I want to give him a shout out. He was charging there at the end. He was, I think, 7th or 8th, needed to make up like 7 points. And he restarted 5th or 6th and drove up to 3rd at the finish.
They're saying 3 for Eckes. Oh, that's right. He did win Darlington. That's right. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Well, and
that's right.
And then I think Crafton was the other one that was eliminated, and he was a moving chicane.
Man, I'm just gonna ask y'all: is it time for Crafton to be done?
No, why not? Just let him do his thing, man. Why not? Just let him do it.
He made cruel, the playoffs.
That's cruel.
Just let him do his thing.
Like it's almost like how I felt about Johnny Sauter the last few years after he won his championship, like his last championship. And it's like, yeah, we saw him win the championship in 2019 after not winning a race, but man, it's like Crafton just keeps feeling more and more like, man, you just Paul Menard repackaged in the Truck Series, ain't you?
As somebody just pointed out in the chat, yeah, Crafton has money, number 1, and look, he's still good enough to make the playoffs at least in trucks. So hey, if he's still running decent, then hey, why not? Just stick around.
I still regret not taking a video or picture of Nashville 2019 when there was literally all these Cup Series drivers with people lined up to get their autograph in downtown Nashville, and then there's Matt Crafton, like with a thing that says 2019 Truck Series champion. He's just sitting there like this because no one wants to come up and talk to him. I so regret not taking a picture of that.
You ever notice, like, ever since around that time, the cricket that used to be in the garage when I was there wasn't around anymore? It's following Matt around his autograph sessions. I feel bad. That's wrong. Let's move.
No, to keep piling on, I looked this up recently. I remember John Hunter Nemechek like a year ago called him an old man.
To keep piling on
after a Talladega race, and I was like, "Damn, that was a little harsh."
Hey, let's put a
All
little.
right, let's talk about Gateway 2009 when Matt Crafton was stupid.
Hey, it's all good. He's
Come over here, buddy. We got an AARP magazine for you.
Hey, I just happened to stumble upon that clip the other day. I don't remember why.
It's like the internet knew it had to be there.
Okay, Matt Crafton, we do like you. Sorry.
I do like Matt Crafton.
But the Truck Series race happened, and now Danny, moving on to.
Let's get into the first super chat stage break of the night. Jarrett, whenever you're ready for that timer, bud.
I got you.
Okay. The rest of y'all get this name wrong every week. It's NASCAR's On 2414. Not NASCAR's Sun, NASCAR's On.
I confuse that, yeah, sometimes.
Learned something new today.
Appreciate the $4.99. Jarrett, how was Kansas? NWP 2025 should have spring Phoenix night race, so teams are clueless for finale race conditions. I'm fine of number of night races.
Kansas was fun. They had a dog show there. It was really cool. Like it was like they were doing cool tricks and swimming and jumps and stuff.
They've been having those at like every race that I've been to. Those are pretty cool.
Oh, they were at Atlanta. Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah. Antar Doss, appreciate the $4.99. The decision on stage cautions is why I have a love-hate relationship with NASCAR. Love the history, drivers, tracks, but hate the sanctioning body.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
NASCAR still wants to know your location.
Alex Love, appreciate the $10. First, WWE brings back Nia Jax. Then NASCAR brings back stage breaks. What is it this week? And bonehead decisions. What's next? Will MLB take away the pitch clock?
I'd actually be fine with that.
I like the pitch clock. I don't know if that's a hot take.
I've heard some. I think I've heard some baseball fans say they like it, but then the diehards say they don't like it.
I'll let you finish. No, I'm gonna let you finish your super chat stage break. Then we got some breaking news.
Oh, interesting.
Rowdy 8 Diecast, appreciate $2. Darian might jinx races, but Eric jinxes championships.
Oh, that is true. That is true. Which one is worse?
It seems like it.
Isaac, appreciate the $4.99. Who's ready for a McDowell Supremacy win on Saturday? Hey, as long as I'm rooting for him, might as well root for him till he gets eliminated.
Yeah, you might as well. Yeah.
Jake Alcorn, appreciate the $9.99. Going to Bristol this weekend. Not my first rodeo, but the first time since a night race in 2019. Tips on things to do / see you around the track before the race starts. Thank you guys for the show. I'll keep it real short for you. Jake, it is exactly what it's saying. You know what to do. Go have fun. Fee, appreciate the $4.99. Eric Jones in a Toyota could be lethal at Kansas next year. Could be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Need for Speed 5353. Appreciate you being a member of the Danny B Superfans for 4 months. A stray cat came around. What should I name him? Shugs. Name him Shugs.
Or Sugar.
I said in the chat you should call him Ty Dillon. Isn't that his boy? Like that's his thing.
Or just Ty. Yeah, there you go. Tyler Carey, appreciate the $20. It's very generous of him, man. Appreciate that. Gets on soapbox. I'm keeping season-long points using current stage system to determine the true Cup champ. Denny currently leads Truex by 14 points. To quote Slap Shoes, playoffs are stupid and bad. Love the show, by the way. Appreciate that, Tyler.
Thank you.
And I'm going to do one more here before we go. Shane Leaf, appreciate another generous $20 from you, Shane. Hot take about Texas since I'm possibly heading there next week. Turn it into the first super duper or ultra speedway, or as I like to call it, Texas mega speedway. 3 miles around, 35-degree banking in the turns, and 20 in the tri-oval if possible. Thoughts? Shane, we are on the same wavelength. Do it.
20 degrees of banking on the straightaway. Goodness.
Damn, dude. Yeah, you fall off.
I saw it too. We got the ticker ready. What's our breaking news?
Trackhouse about 3 minutes ago confirmed that Shane Van Gisbergen will drive in all 3 NASCAR series next year. I have not seen any additional detail. Let's see. SVG tweeted, off to America, huge opportunity. Thankful to Trackhouse. Can't wait to get over there. There's a video, a little 10-second video. I don't know if it has any audio, but visually there's nothing that says how many truck, how many Xfinity, how many Cup. But it now seems to be confirmed Shane Van Gisbergen will do. He has signed that Trackhouse development deal that was rumored or reported a few weeks back.
That's smart.
So
I mean, it's a smart move.
I'm curious if this will be Trackhouse fielding cars in those series or working with teams in those series.
Yeah.
I would guess they work with teams like in trucks. They already kind of have a sponsor relationship with Nice.
With Nice.
Well, and
So
Chevy with JRM probably would be.
They could put them in the 88 in a lot of races for JRM.
Or even Spire, and that might tie into some news a little later on that we got tonight as well about Spire potentially or Spire potentially buying Live Fast charter for Trackhouse to lease Zane Smith or someone out to. This is Adam Stern speculating, but that's a possibility. So I could see Spire and Xfinity, Nissan trucks. That's probably what they'll do.
But by the way, hate to go back to super chats. There's just one to come in. I wanted to read real fast. Appreciate the $5 from Claudia Baldwin. That is just very generous of this complete and total stranger. But you know what? She's also very cute. Thank you, Claudia, for your $5. Happy belated birthday. Yes, I am now 28 years old. Glad to spend your birthday with you and Neyland. Seeing a Vols win plus a Alabama loss was icing on the cake. Go Big Orange. Love you too, Claudia. And hook 'em horns.
Ooh, the real UT.
I love using the red ticker. I'm sorry. We only get to use like 3 times a year.
News.
We get to use like 3
28
times.
years old.
I'm sorry. I geek out over the dumbest things. But happy birthday, Danny.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Don't have a lot else to say about SVG that we haven't said already, but it is nice to know that's confirmed. I'm still curious to see what this calling announcement is in a couple weeks or a couple days, but I think it's probably time for the second half of our show, if you ask me.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to look at this thing from a Trackhouse on my phone, but it keeps getting blocked because there's this little alert thing. It keeps giving me something about weather in the area or something like that.
And it's the lightning round on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Jarrett, what do we have on the list for tonight?
Well, first off, we started doing this a little while back, a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to keep it on going here. So shout out to the Spotify crowd, y'all listening out there. I left another poll. How far in the playoffs do you think Kyle Larson will get? And I have 4 options. Final 4, champion, round of 8, round of 12. 0% think that he will be eliminated in the next round. 40% say he'll get to the round of 8. 49% say final 4. Only 11% say he will be the champion. So that was interesting to look at this week.
0% said he'll be eliminated in the round of 12.
Yep.
Jarrett, you told us before the show he has been eliminated in that round more than like anyone else in the past decade.
Yeah. It's been like his Achilles heel,
including last season, if I remember correctly. So that is bold. He'll probably get through the round of 12. I'm just surprised there was nobody that voted round of 12.
Interesting.
We talked about it a little bit earlier, but stage breaks will be back at the Roval. I think we'll probably talk more in depth about that come Roval week. But to give the summary from my end, I got to fix the package, man. Got to fix the package. And attaboy to Michael McDowell, by the way, for coming from the top rope to go after Joey Logano. That was sweet. That was sweet.
Good job.
For anyone who
Michael McDowell is going for that.
Well, for anybody who doesn't know the context of that, I'm gonna read it off to you here. So Joey Logano has been wanting it back, been defending it, all that. And Michael McDowell responds with, some like it because it gives them an opportunity to make something happen on a restart, like stuffing it 5 wide bumper car style. It also erases the time gap lost on track due to the lack of actual speed. It gives the guys who can't run up front all day a shot at it. Indoor karting is entertaining too. Entertainment is subjective. So I am good if the fans want it, but is that really what the fans want? Damn, boy.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal, but I respect it. Also, it's worth noting I saw Rodney Childers supported the return of stages at road courses. So now you have the 22 and the 4. Pro it, Whereas, the better road racer, Michael McDowell, again it. So.
Yeah. The superior road racer, Eric. Excuse me, more
right.
superior.
I used the correct language.
I can't wait in a couple of weeks when they have the new Roval restart zone using the chicane on the front stretch, which is another point that comes.
Oh yeah,
I can't wait to watch Joey Logano ass pack somebody 5 wide into turn 1.
Yeah, just bring back the oval, bro. There you go.
On a few positive notes, I think we can all get behind on this one, or at least a lot of people can. Sam Mayer will be returning to JRM in 2024, and Ryan Vargas with 3F Racing will make a Euro Series debut in Germany next weekend. So
that's interesting. Good luck.
And then we'll be back in Talladega next week.
Yeah,
nice.
I didn't realize 3F Racing was still around, I'll be honest, but good stuff. Austin Hill will spend the next 2 years in Xfinity with RCR and have a select amount of cup starts, this according to Danielle Trotta. This is the Danielle Trotta news that went under the radar this week. Noah Gragson also has been reinstated by NASCAR, and I believe Jimmy Johnson, I think, had said that he's been staying in contact with him and helping him. So,
hey, good.
The Nashville Fairgrounds will be receiving fines from the Nashville Fair Board for exceeding noise limits and not using mufflers recently. So that's something to look at when it comes to the new agreement, new mayor coming in, all that. And then this Saturday night, there will be racing again at the Chicagoland Speedway. This time, the Super Motocross Series comes to Joliet for, I believe, their second playoff race. I think that is, but it's a pretty big weekend. I've gotten a few people have given me the ability to actually see some of the preparations. They had to take out, I believe, the catch fence in turn 1 because the track goes outside of the main track and then back into it. So lights are working at Chicagoland again, and they will be bright on Saturday night. So keep an eye out for that. And if you're around there, I believe tickets are still on sale. So, but that's it. That's the lightning round this week.
And that'll conclude this edition of the famous lightning round on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. And now let's get back to the show.
I don't know about you boys. I am feeling particularly reckless tonight.
Yes,
absolutely.
Speculation.
I would like
Does Claudia know about this?
I would like to just go crazy and speculate with some reckless speculation. The first thing I want to talk about is arm hair. Who is Chris Rice shaking hands with? Who is that?
Hey, you're doing the freaking detective work, Danny. I see.
It's Danica Patrick.
Damn, she ain't.
Okay. I gotta say, things that got a chuckle out of me. The ones that obviously were not true. People saying Haley Deegan, Haley Decker, Raja.
Bruh. Now the female ones were like the funniest because I'm like, damn, you think they don't shave the hair off their arms? You know what I'm saying? Like damn. But yeah, no, let's get started with this reckless speculation, Danny. Can't wait.
I mean, we really didn't have much to say. We'll find out on Friday what the calling thing is.
Yeah.
But I would just to briefly touch on it. We won't spend long on it. Some of the things that I saw suggested some people thought Matt Benedetto, some people thought maybe Noah, some people thought Casey Kane out of nowhere. But the most common one that I saw and the one I'm leaning towards is a Daniel Hemrick announcement. So I think that's what we're going to be seeing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would like to think it's someone else, but after seeing some of the detective work and, just based on him racing there too.
In a way, this was more fun than doing the usual silhouette that if you just adjust the lighting, you can easily tell who it is.
Yeah.
Someone said Barack Obama.
I said the Pope, KSI's one.
It's actually me. I wanted to leave it a surprise.
But no, that was very fun just to say, whose arm hair is this?
Yeah, hey Jerry, since it's you, I can't wait for the NASCAR bus video. I
can't
wait.
Yeah. No man. We are going old school. We are going back to the 2000s, the 2010s. We are starting parking every week.
I will be making a video, The Curious Case of Jarrett Lundberg.
Yeah. Now, really quick, a wild card I would have thought would have been interesting, but he's obviously too young, is the Chandler Smith. But I feel like he'll be in Cup in a few years, though. That would have been interesting, just based off of the hosts of our rumors and stuff, to get another young guy sort of out of nowhere.
Hey,
moving up.
what if it is him?
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if it was. Yeah.
I wouldn't be so dismissive. I think since Austin Hill announced he was going back to RCR, I don't think anyone's off the table. I think suddenly Colleague was like, oh, okay, we got to like maybe piece something together now. And who knows, Chandler could be all they have available. I doubt it, but I don't want to rule him out. You know.
I want to get this for you, Danny, really quick, since it has something to do with it, and we won't want to wait too long. Phoebe, I don't want to get political, but says it's former President William Howard Taft going to the 31.
That's a surprise.
Yes, obviously, he definitely fit into his bathtub, so he will definitely fit into the race car.
Yeah,
but
I
think,
are funny in the chat.
Yeah, all jokes aside, I do think it's probably Hendrick, which I'm kind of wondering like what the performance really is going to be, if it's going to be any different. I really don't think so.
You know, I mean, look, he had 1 year in the Cup, right? 1 year in the Cup with the 8. So I'll give him a chance, but just based off of his Xfinity runs, like I'm gonna be honest, I don't really expect playoffs out of that team and stuff. Maybe they run a tad bit better, but nothing too major, I don't think, if that's true.
He might be the greatest one-hit wonder in Xfinity history.
Yep, one win, the championship, and then he dipped.
If you're gonna win, I mean that's the one to win.
Yeah, might as well.
Yep.
Might as well.
But there's some other speculation we can recklessly look at.
And it has to do with what's on this shirt and then what's also on my undershirt. Live Fast Motorsports. We love our friends at Live Fast, but
Danny, don't flash us now. But yeah, no, Live Fast.
You all had no clue. My torso is your torso is just Live Fast. Always has
Live Fast. Yeah. Now, Dan, what's going on with Live Fast? The whole charter situation. They're looking to sell in one.
I mean, it's funny. I've watched Eric had a nice tour video with folks at Live Fast with Matt Tift, and we've talked to BJ and Matt on the show. Things were, sound like they're very happy with the progress they made, but at the same time, think of where they're at. They could say this might be our peak, and if we have a good opportunity to have a valuable asset like this and sell it to the right people, hey, maybe that's the right business step for them. Who knows what'll actually happen?
Yeah. Let me just say this. There's an old saying, money talks. Money makes you do crazy. Money makes you do some crazy ass things, man. And Eric, how much do these charters go for again? How much again?
I mean, they're asking, it sounds like upwards of $40 million.
Oh, yep. Sell that. Get out of there. Yep. Sell it while you can. Yep. Sorry. Look, I love underfunded teams. I love the underfunded teams in the Cup Series there. They make up the field and stuff. We need those full fields. I appreciate that. But look, money talks. If you're going to get like 40 million for just selling a charter, absolutely. Absolutely. I do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, for people who weren't here at the very beginning, the report was from Adam Stern earlier this evening that according to, there's NASCAR industry chatter that Live Fast may sell their charter. And they declined to comment when I guess Adam Stern reached out. He mentioned Spire as a team that might be interested. But I mean, first focusing on Live Fast, though. Yeah, big fan of Live Fast. Love Matt Tiff, BJ McLeod. I think they're a great story. I think it's awesome that they built this Cup Series team even to what it is. And they have gotten, earlier I said they haven't shown improvement. They have on the stopwatch, just not in the finishing results. Everyone's gotten better. And so they're still in last place. Ultimately, that's the problem. So if there was like Rick Ware Racing has at least shown some signs of improvement. I've seen guys run top 15 in those cars this year. Outside of maybe, I want to say Josh Bilicki maybe at Coda ran top 20 in the 78. But outside of that, I've seen nothing from that 78 this year, the year before, or the year before that. And I don't know how NASCAR's rules exactly are written, but I know if you're finished in the bottom 3 of chartered teams and owner points 3 years in a row, NASCAR has the right to repossess your charter. I don't know where Live Fast stands, if they're in any danger of that happening, but that could also feed into this potential decision to sell. And again, if they can actually get $40 million, $50 million for that piece of paper, BJ McLeod, they still have an Xfinity team that's shown some signs of promise this year with Anthony Alfredo. If he invests even just, a quarter of that or, 10% of that into that team, that could be a huge difference maker for an Xfinity.
They already do share the facility for both those teams. And if they say, hey, we're going to cut our costs from the Cup Series and here is money exclusively for this Xfinity team only. Matt Tiff could also stay on as become a partner of that. You know, we could see Live Fast might still exist, but in Xfinity series.
But who gets the charter? Because I know, Eric, you said the only reason you saw this is because Dale Earnhardt Jr. retweeted it.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did. I did stumble on my feet because Dale Jr. retweeted. I don't know if that means JRM is thinking about buying, or if that's just Dale Jr. Saying, "Hey, yeah, I've heard this too," or this is interesting.
To be fair, I also retweeted it. That confirms I'm buying it.
Yeah, look, let me just say that, look, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Like, until Junior officially announces something, I'll believe it when I see it. Okay, I think he's just sort of, trolling y'all to some extent, or, I mean, maybe he was just tweeting out, just to retweet, but I'll go here first. But I think, the charter, from what it sounds like, Trackhouse, they're very interested, not only buying the charter, but having Zane Smith in one of their cars. That's crazy. And you know what? That has a ton of potential. And Danny, what was you saying? It's funny how, what was it? Like, he was about to get a cup opportunity, but then it stopped. And
yeah. So Zane Smith was, in case y'all didn't notice, he was fully in line to take over the number one from Kurt Busch following the end of the
2019,
2020.
Or 2019, 2020?
No, 2021.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Following the end of 2021, Zane Smith was fully in line to get the one car at Chip Ganassi Racing, and then Chip Ganassi Racing sold to Trackhouse Racing. They chose to go with Ross Chastain instead, and Zane Smith was left out to go get whatever he could. In that case, it was the Truck Series opportunity with Front Row Motorsports.
Hey, really quick, someone in the chat says he's not ready. I mean, what more does he have to prove, Zane Smith, at this point? I mean, sorry to call you up. I mean, what more does he have to prove at this point?
He's ran Xfinity races for JRM. He's won multiple races in trucks. He's won a Truck Series championship, contended for multiple Truck Series championships, could very likely contend for another one this year.
Yeah. I think
he's one of those few drivers that I would say he spent enough time in trucks to justify that being his time in Xfinity also, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I just slightly off topic. Sorry. I'm trying to look around to see how much Live Fast bought that charter for, and I haven't found it yet, if that's even public information, but I did forget just an interesting detail. That charter is, I believe, partially owned by BJ, Tiff, and also Joe Falk, who had previously owned, I think, a different team before Live Fast. So that is a different, there are other business partners involved. I don't know how that would affect, like BJ McLeod Motorsports. There's multiple stakeholders, but I'm trying to figure out how much they might profit if they sell this thing. I can't find it.
And then if they sell the charter, that's a big profit right there. Then you get rid of some of the assets you don't need more. You no longer need the Cup Series hauler. You no longer need the Cup Series equipment, the cars, etc.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Going back, I found on J-Ski like the full history of every charter. This current one for Live Fast they've had for 3 years. That was they went from Go Fast to Live Fast. Yep. Circle Sport had it for 2 years with Levine in the middle with the 95 back in 2016. So I think the buying year would have been between 2020 and 21.
It was going into the 21 season.
Around then, it was around 7 to 10 million is what I remember. It might have been 15, but it was nowhere near where it is now.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting because I think Joe Falk owned that charter going all the way back to Circle Sport. So he was he owned that charter and was taking it from team to team, I guess, and becoming business partners with them. And I think that's still what's going on here with Live Fast. So I wonder how, if he matters or if he'll factor into this, if in fact they do sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know we're talking about what could be an option here. It's something I haven't even thought about. We're talking. People are joking like someone to the 31, someone to the 31, and we're gonna find out what the announcement is from Colleague. But there's been questions: is AJ Allmendinger even wanting to stay in the Cup Series, or would he want to go down to the Xfinity Series? So they could potentially have 2 open rides in the Cup Series. They could potentially say, hey, we want to just have one Cup car again and sell one of their charters.
Yeah. You never know. Could happen. I feel like, if they were to scale back to one Cup team again this early, maybe it might benefit them to some extent. I guess you don't only have one car, just just one car to focus on, one driver. But we'll see.
Because they could always run an extra car if AJ wants to run a cup race or
Oh yeah, doesn't have to shut down fully.
Or put Chandler Smith in a cup race, whatever they decide to do.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to find anything on that deal, and nothing is coming up.
I mean, they don't have to make it public. I think the ones that were made public were just like reports from like reporters who did some digging and maybe found something.
Yeah, I would think
it's one of those things. It's like, if it's there, cool, but also it's none of my business.
I mean, I'd like to know, seeing it's a public sport at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But I would have to guess at that time it was like between, like, wide range here, but 7 to 15 million. They make a pretty penny off of that to summarize it. But who would get it? That's my thing. Other than Trackhouse,
the money team.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, the money team could buy it. They have money.
Yeah, I like that comment. That's funny.
Watch them actually buy it and then don't even show up. Don't even use it.
Hey, one of my friends is a pro boxer now in that can. Maybe I should ask him. Hey, I've been hearing. No, you don't know nothing about that. No,
like they just buy it, then they need it, and they just still don't even show up.
Yeah, right. But I don't know. That's interesting.
That's the thing is, who would the actual buyers be? Because JRM still is an outsider. Maybe Trackhouse. I mean, there was early rumors last year or early this year about like an RCR third team, but nothing came of that.
See, Richard Childress was about dead set on doing what he had to keep Tyler Reddick in a car for one more year. So
I think the Spire is interesting. Stern mentioned that Spire could acquire it, and then Trackhouse might lease a driver out there. Could that be a spot for?
I was going to say, if Spire gets it, they definitely lease it. They would not benefit from having 3 full-time cars.
No
Spire's a weird pick, because didn't they sell 2 charters a couple years ago?
Well, it's like they're flipping charters. They're in the charter flipping business.
They're flipping charters,
I guess, but it'd be a much larger investment now than it was a couple. They'd pay more now than they did selling 2 years ago. I don't know. I think that could be interesting. Don't count out 2311. You never know.
Yeah.
They could always swoop in.
N4S videos. Nah, Floyd Mayweather's too busy buying Gucci belts for that. So no,
well,
I don't think they're.
I will say that long-term Trackhouse is one that maybe they buy it, lease it out for a year, and then go, because I like, they seem like they want to keep Chastain. They want to keep this guy around. There we go.
He's holding up a Daniel Suarez car for our listeners.
Yes, but they're going to want SVG. He is signed on with them. There's no room at the inn unless you get a bigger inn, and maybe that's the way they go at it. I don't know. That's a fun or reckless speculation.
Depending on how things actually truly go down with Legacy, you never know if they might decide, hey, this isn't working out like we thought, we need to get rid of a charter. They could eventually sell one too.
Hey, you never know. We've seen some crazy things happen in the sport. It might be a team out of left field, way out of left field.
Hendrick is selling 2 charters. Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude, the fans would riot. They'd be like, no. Oh my God. They were to do that.
Well, yeah.
That's reckless. That's some reckless speculation.
If Hendrick were to sell 2 charters, we'd find out pretty quick where Chase Elliott fits on the pecking order.
Where does his merchandise sales sit?
Oh my God! All right,
where does Alex Bowman sit?
Oh,
do we want to answer that question?
Yeah, do we want to end? You said yourself.
It's the Mr. Krabs meme. How do we tell him?
I know exactly where he sits.
Yeah, but yeah,
it's Bristol, baby. Okay. Let's go. It's Bristol, baby.
Yeah, it's Bristol, baby. Don't let Ward Burton near you if he's not happy. So, weekend notes. Dale Earnhardt Jr. to drive the number 88 Xfinity S Junior Nation, baby. Wow,
Jim Bug.
Dale Jr. will be racing this weekend in the Hellman's car. I'm still so confused why he's not running the Bass Pro car for the weekend of the Bass Pro night race. That makes 0 sense to me. When he's in the Hellman's car, Bass Pro will be.
This isn't Formula One, Danny.
Thank God. Oh, but yeah, no, he's got the deal with Hellman's. So,
and speaking of Dale Jr., a return for one of his longtime sponsors, Mountain Dew partnered up with Food City with Justin Haley in the 31 car. This is honestly probably the paint scheme of the year, in my opinion. This one is awesome. I loved a lot of the Dale Jr. Mountain Dew cars, but this one might take the cake for me. I think I really like this one in terms of Mountain Dew cars.
And you know
It's
who
a
else
good
liked
one.
it? You know who else liked it? Freaking What Incarnation had like a 6-tweet thread just talking, saying thank you. Yeah, y'all know he's a Pepsi guy.
Oh yeah, this is like Pepsi is back. My delicious.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
we got NASCAR Shill. He should rename his account to Pepsi Shill.
Yes.
Uh,
As I mentioned, the Cup race name is the Bass Pro Shops Night Race. I guess it's just Bass Pro these days. They used to have another partner
wow,
with it too.
a simple name. What? Finally.
The Bass Pro
Available
Shops
at
Night-
Walmart.
The Bass Pro Shops Night Race, formerly known as the Sharpie 500. Don't want to call it the Bass Pro 500 for whatever reason. 500 laps, 125 laps in the first stage, 125 laps in the second stage, 250 laps in the third stage. Just simple and easy as that. Very easy to understand that. Start time for this one, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This race will be on USA with radio coverage on the Performance Racing Network, PRN. Weather for this Saturday, very good for this time of year. High of 78 degrees, pleasant conditions, and only an 8% chance of rain. The defending winner of this race, first time we got to see this, we'll be saying it a lot next year, Chris Buescher, the defending winner of this race. This was RFK Racing's first win of their time since adding in with Brad Kozlowski. The Xfinity race name is the Food City 300. It's a 300-lap race, 85 laps in the first stage, 85 laps in the second, 130 laps in the final stage. This one, too, starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on USA with radio coverage on the Performance Racing Network. The weather for this one on Friday, again, very nice, 77 degrees, pleasant conditions, only a 4% chance of rain. The defending winner of this race won't be defending at this time, Noah Gragson. The Truck Series race is the University of Northwestern Ohio 200, a UNOH 200. It's a 200-lap race, 55 laps in the first stage, 55 laps in the second, 90 laps in the final stage. This one starts late, 9 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow on Fox Sports 1 with radio coverage from the Motor Racing Network. Weather for this one tomorrow, very pleasant, probably the best of the entire week. 73 degrees is the high, only a 1% chance of rain, and the defending winner of this race might be a very odds-in favorite for us to predict to win this one, Ty Majeski.
Okay. Now it's time for the famous betting odds on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Very interesting this week for the Cup Series. Indeed, Kyle Larson enters as the odds-on favorite at plus 550. William Byron is plus 750, followed by Denny Hamlin at plus 800. Brad Keselowski with what I think are his best odds of the season at plus 850. And then finally, Chase Elliott at plus 1,000. Excuse me. As for the best of the rest, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Chris Buescher are all tied at plus 1,200. And then Ryan Blaney and Ross Chastain are tied at plus 1,400. Now, as for the underdogs, Ty Gibbs is plus 3,500, Alex Bowman plus 5,500, Daniel Suarez 6,000, Eric Almirola 9,000, and finally, for all you McDowell Supremacy fans, good luck on him winning because he's plus 10,000. But hey, there's still hope. You never know. So put some money on him. We'll see. But as for the NWP Fantasy League points, very interesting points battle. In the main league, Sean 48NY is the points leader over Trevor Sports 98, has built up damn near a 200-point cushion. So good for him. The NASCAR Bears P3 and P4 is your boy Black Flags Matter. And rounding out the top 5 is Denny Delivers. As for the NWP Fantasy League 2, the second one, wow. Just a 5-point lead we see. Vroom HMS is P1, just 5 points over Race Roar 48. JC_43 and P3. Me and him are tied for P3. And then finally for the top 5, rounding out the top 5 is 42 Larson 5. So very competitive in the points. So I'm happy about those points, but I'm also extremely happy about this week's pick points for us. Danny, are you happy, Danny? You don't look happy.
Yeah, no, I'm not very happy.
Doesn't look too happy.
The chat, you are 454 points in the lead. Eric, you are now second, minus 25 back. You are inching closer and closer to us basement dwellers. Darian, you are third where I was on Saturday. You're minus 47 back. Jarrett is minus 51 back. And we talked about this before the show. I did not know until today how weird our points rules are. Last week, I won the race with Kyle Larson, barely gained like 7 points on these guys. You all in the chat, all tied with the second and got the second place points. Now, meanwhile, this week, you all had the same pick again. I did not. Y'all won, got your 15 points. Okay, great. And then Jarrett had to inform me I only got the points of like 5th or 6th place. That's so backwards.
You finished behind 4 people.
But I still had the second best pick.
Hey, that's the way it works, though, man. That's the way it works right now, though, Danny.
And I always wondered why I was 200 points back in years before.
Hey, it's all good. We can.
But I'm basement boy again, minus 59. All that hard work and progress that I climbed back from gone.
Hey, Nick Man says Danny versus the system. Yeah, that sounds like a good video.
Exactly. Yeah. Boycott this system. I do not like this.
Oh, don't boycott. It's not over yet for you, Danny. It's not over. You'll see. We'll see. But yeah, let's move on. It's pick time.
Hey, I'm just gonna say this, and I don't know how the others feel about this. Spoiler alert: we know who we have picked for the Cup race, and we know we're all the same. But I don't want us to say anything. I want the chat to pick on their own before we even say who we picked. Is that fair?
That's fair. That sounds fair to me. Well, I love that idea.
I know we submitted to Jarrett our picks ahead of time, but I'm changing my pick because I didn't.
Can you do that?
Can you do that?
We haven't set them over the air yet. It's not official. I'm 25 points behind the chat. I did not realize that. I can't pick this guy now. I have to pick somebody else.
Well, what if we don't? What if the chat picks first?
I still like the idea of letting them pick.
Oh, they can pick first. They can still pick first if you want.
Do they pick somebody else? They could screw themselves.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
It's true. If they do pick somebody else, maybe I'll stick with my OG pick. But I have a good backup.
Okay. Right. Well, the three, we'll let the chat go. Then the three of us will say what we had, and Eric, you can decide if you're staying with it. I guess will be different just for this week, but we do need to pick who's going to win the truck race tomorrow. Eric, you do go first for this one.
Yeah, I'm 25 back, so it's tough. I need to pick heavy favorites, but I also need to make sure I pick someone that the chat likely won't pick. I don't know if that fits the bill for my truck pick. I'm going Hocevar. I think he'll be a popular pick.
Oh yeah, I go next. This is crazy. I'm not used to this. I could get used to this. It's Heim time. Corey Heim gets the victory.
I agree with Darian. Heim time.
He'll get the victory at damn near midnight or something.
And he's left wide open for me. Ty Majeski.
I think chat's going with him too.
Oh, chat's going with Majeski. Yes, sir. Yep. Yes, sir.
I'm shook. They looked human after they got their bleeders taken away. I'm just saying.
But this is Bristol, baby. So
he'll be good. He will be good. That's not a bad pick.
All right. So Eric, who's going to win the Xfinity race on Friday night?
Yeah, I still don't know. I sent Jarrett 2 picks because I couldn't decide just one.
You're really pushing that system, man.
Yeah, I really am. Well, hey, I feel like we got to wait until the show because that's part of the strategy is like the chat gets to hear who we pick first. So I need to hear who you guys are picking. I need to know what the vibe of the chat is. You know, these are last minute decisions. You can't plan this out ahead of time. You got to accept the vibe. But for my Xfinity pick, fuck it, Trevor Bayne.
Oh, I like that.
I'm just gonna say I think we're all gonna gain on chat for this one.
Yeah, bro. Jr. Chat is okay. All right, I'm up next. John Hunter Nemechek, hasn't really done me wrong most of the season, so I'll go with him.
I think y'all might laugh at me for this one, but this guy has been super, super fast here, and I think he's getting overlooked, and he's a lot better than he was in years past. I'm going Sam Mayer.
Good pick.
And I am like Eric. This is one of his favorite tracks. This is hometown track. Trevor Bayne has wanted to win this track for a long time. This is his best chance to ever do it. It's going to be Trevor Bayne.
He had some actually good runs here in Cup back in the day.
And I'm actually doing a poll between the 70, 88 because that was the most that I saw.
Y'all better be careful. Y'all better choose wisely.
Hey, Dale Jr. always runs top 10, sometimes top
Yeah,
5, pretty much
yeah.
every work.
He's
every
also
week he
getting
does this.
closer and
See,
closer being old as dirt.
See, look, it says it all when Jarrett doesn't pick him to win. So that says it all.
I
for
haven't
me
picked
right there.
Dale to win in like 2-3 years, man.
Yeah, Dale Jr.'s last Xfinity race at Bristol was 2017, and I mean he had a top 10 run, but it was just okay.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I'm gonna be that obnoxious Junior fan you're gonna hear across town. Like I'm gonna be hooting and hollering the whole damn time. I'm gonna be decked out in Dale Jr. stuff, and I damn well know I'm gonna be cheering for a 13th place finish.
Someone said the 88 was front pole for wishful thing with Danny. No, it wasn't. I saw legit a lot of people who say
Dude.
88.
We ain't gonna lie.
It's actually
And
so close.
Yeah, and the poll is
Yeah.
almost 50-50, so
Yeah, we ain't gonna lie.
Hey,
bro.
Dale swept here 20 years ago.
Yeah, remember?
I was in first grade. I do remember. Actually. All right.
Gosh, Mark Barnum said Junior can't drive a nail.
Damn.
Hey, to be fair, most stuff he does these days are short tracks, so to his
Yeah.
advantage there.
Yeah. But yeah, the cup.
Yeah, who is going to suck in the cup race, Eric?
I'll go Bubba Wallace. I just don't feel it. It's not his best track outside of that fun run in 2018 where he still finished 15th or whatever. He hasn't been great at Bristol. I don't know. Kansas was a shot. I think their chances are done.
Hey, when in doubt for a suck pick, always go for the old reliable. He's ran a little bit better, but he's the guaranteed caution clock. Yeah, Harrison Burton. Sorry, bro. Whether it's his fault or not.
I said I pretty much gave it away earlier. I get Ryan Blaney on this one.
And like I said earlier, I have seen this guy wreck out of the Bristol night race plenty. Out he goes, Martin Truex Jr.
Yep, and oh my gosh, the poll's 50%. But chat, I feel like they're going with Harrison too. Just give him the 21.
Yeah. And chat, just so y'all know, I'm going to give y'all to the end of the underdogs to decide on this Xfinity poll.
Mhm.
But yeah, they're going with Harrison Burton for the suck pick.
All right, chat, decide quickly. Underdogs.
I feel like Jarrett might pick one of these guys, so I'll go with the other one. I'm gonna go Eric Jones as my underdog pick. He's had some good runs at Bristol in the past. I think that suits his driving style, and that team has been top 10 the past few weeks. So, yeah.
Hey, I'm going with the Eric, but it's Eric Almirola though. Hey, he's had some surprise runs, and in the betting odds, he was only 9,000. I figured he'd be much worse than that. So there has to be a little something there, right? So I think he'll run better than expected.
You're probably right on. I was going to go with the Eric Jones ones. I'm assuming the other one you thought I was going to go with was Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to go Stenhouse on that one. I was going to go Jones, but I'm like, I got to be different.
I thought you were going to go Stenhouse. Wow.
I think we're on equal weight points here because I also am going with Eric Jones for my underdog on this one. And the chat is very similar, but I'm seeing slightly more for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So I'm going to give them Ricky Stenhouse on the underdog for this one. Yeah. And fortunately for the chat, it did pull away just enough. Looks like Justin Allgaier is their pick for the Xfinity Series race.
Dang.
Nice,
I went with Bain. I was this close to picking Allgaier.
I was too. I teeter between Allgaier and Bain, but I think Bain can get it done finally.
And I like Jarrett's Sam Mayer pick too. I don't forget what he did here in a truck at 17 years old.
Yes.
Don't forget he ran top 5 in the Xfinity car too. Might not have finished. I can't remember where he finished, but I remember him being fast in this race.
And then you had me with the boring John Hunter pick again.
So, chat. Looks like you're already working on. I see some 77s coming out. Oh my gosh. Chat, you need to be giving us time, and you need to decide who you're going to pick.
Well, and I'm just going to say this right now, so that they don't think we're rigging the poll or any of this stuff. We are not. I don't give a damn how many people put it. We're not giving you all Ty Dillon.
Yeah, we won't put him. Yeah. And now it's time for the main event. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win this weekend at the last great Coliseum?
It's very torn so far between the 17 and the 6.
I expect it to be almost all RFK.
Why don't you give him a poll right away? The RFK duo.
Yeah.
And maybe Kyle. Nah, Kyle Busch doesn't have enough yet.
No,
RFK.
Yeah, you're getting a best of RFK poll.
This is gonna be funny.
Watch. We
This is gonna be close.
maybe not.
And again, I'm gonna cap him off. I want to see 200 votes before I end this.
Yeah, 200, y'all. We're almost to 100 already. Oh, past 100 now.
Over 100.
Okay. Actually, that's a little joke. Let's say 250.
All right, we'll get to that.
All right.
Yeah, we got 419 watching. Surely we can get 250.
Yeah, we can get. Come on, guys.
And I don't want to say a word because I don't want to give anything at all away.
Yeah, we can't. We can't do it.
I feel so bad for those listening who are like, just give us your damn picks. I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this crap. Tell me who you want to pick.
We're
That's
sorry to
too
the
damn
Spotify
bad.
listeners. We're
You
sorry
keep
to the
listening.
Spotify listeners.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to 200 because they're going slow now. Come on,
Yeah.
guys. There's 400 of you. Just click the vote.
Yeah, just hurry up, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. Numbers don't lie. It's gonna take a miracle. I think we know who the pick is.
Okay, as soon as this hits 150, we're at 142.
Well, at that point, we know for sure. Then, like, there's no way mathematically it's gonna reach that
Oh,
7
yeah.
votes.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we
Okay.
can. It's getting a little closer.
And I will announce it as soon as I get ready to end this poll. And
There it is.
now, and congratulations, chat. You have chosen Bradley Keselowski, and so did we. Unless Eric's really changed his mind, I don't know.
I mean, what are the rules here? Because I know we let Jarrett know ahead of time so he can sort of track it easier. But
I have only changed my selection if it was a choice like when I looked and saw Kyle Busch on the entry list and all of a sudden he wasn't.
We have done it for about the past 2 years. You get one mulligan a year because we've changed it before when somebody's out, like when Danny had Kyle Busch when he was on the entry list. So
all right,
if
you can keep me with Brad,
Well,
then
no,
I think we should change that rule in the future. Though I think we should make the decision in real time, and then we can kind of screw with each other. 'Cause I think otherwise we pick the same
used to
person.
do that. We used to do that forever.
Yeah,
I was just saying.
Yeah,
I say we just pick different people from now on as of next year.
Yeah, we could do that as well.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
That way there's no way we overlap.
Or be like the NASCAR app when they only give you like 5 chances to use somebody.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't want to too much. We can talk about it probably in the off season, but I do think like everyone doing different picks would make this so much more interesting every week.
Yeah,
We all had Brad.
But hey, we all expect good things out of Brad this weekend.
Well, the great thing
Yeah.
is we all have pretty much different Xfinity and truck picks too. So
that'll
Yeah,
make some of the
that is
difference.
true.
Yeah,
And hey, all you gotta do is hope for Dose to come through for you, Brad to win, and you sweep. So there you go.
There you go. Yeah, I'm looking for that sweep. But yeah,
I mean, Danny, if you want to poll them, I mean, it seems like they're pretty enthusiastic. We can at least maybe each one of our channels we can poll if they want to do different selections next year. We'll just sort of like combine it all together. I'll keep track.
Sure.
Just a yes or no.
Different.
do that poll, and then we will move on to the final super chat stage break. Isaiah says, Danny, I love the tea. Yes, we do. I love the tea. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Should we have different picks for each person? Yes or no?
Yeah, we can start. We can keep it the same rules this year, just because I don't want to change it on them. I don't want to go like.
Yeah, and like Claudia said, it seems like it's better to be safe and go with majority than get last place points like I did.
Yeah,
like better than Chris.
Yeah, lose your third spot.
Yeah. But with that being said, we wrapped up our Bristol thoughts. Let's get right into it with the super chats again. Picking up with Shorty, PJM, appreciate the $2.23. If it's Kansas that takes Bubba out of the round of 16, oddly enough, what should have been his best track could be the one that ruins it.
Ugh, tough.
Hold on. Isaac, appreciate the $4.99. Since this Saturday is Batman Day, remember when Batman won Michigan of Dell Jr. in 2012? Also, favorite Batman movie.
2008 one. The 2008
Dark Knight.
one. Yeah. 2008
I like the Robert Pattinson one, but growing up, I loved a lot of the animated series Batman. There was a VHS I had. It was what was it called? Mask of the Phantasm. I love that movie.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Hey, Eric, Eric, the Riddler was so funny. I think that was him. He was in the jail, like, I think that was him.
Honestly, I really, really loved the Justice League animated series, and my favorite one was I think it was a 2-part episode where the Justice League went back in time to World War II. That was an interesting one.
I know. So it's stereotypical to talk about Dark Knight, and that is mine. But I'll say my second favorite because I feel like it's so overlooked is Batman Begins, and I might
2005.
I might be a little biased towards that one though, just because I am a huge Cillian Murphy fan, and for the longest time until I might have been until I watched Peaky Blinders, I thought he was an American because he does such a good American accent.
Yeah.
Okay, getting back on the super chats. Marky Mark, appreciate the $5. I feel disturbance in the force. I see disappointed faces at Bristol after the checkered flag. Oh, he's calling for a Denny Hamlin win.
Oh no. Oh no.
Smoke Carbon 13. Good to see you, man. Appreciate that very generous $20 from you. The reactions in my vlogs when their driver wrecks or has issues. I remember Darlington Southern 500 in 2021. Kyle Busch hits the wall and the fan slammed his hat on the door like, F this race. I felt the impact of the hat. LOL. Joseph Knuckles, appreciate the $5. I'm a Larson fan. My dad is a Chase fan. He hates Larson ever since Fontana. Kind of weird since we have always liked the same guy.
Ah, damn. The little divide there. Little family divide.
I've basically realized Hendrick Motorsports fans are just like SEC fans because we do like the SEC, but we hate each other's team.
Yeah.
Joseph Knuckles, appreciate the $5. My dad started calling Larson a coward last Sunday. He got heated when I said that it wasn't Larson's fault. He's unstable since the 9 missed the playoffs.
You know what? Okay, this is gonna probably make some old school fans upset. You know what it kind of reminds me of? It reminds me of how in the 90s, younger fans went with Gordon, older fans went with Earnhardt. Now those younger fans are older fans who went with Gordon now and Jr. and now go with Chase. And the younger fans are going with Larson. It's the same thing. I love watching it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and end this poll, but 77% of people have voted yes that they would appreciate us having different picks for each person.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. That's cool. Cool.
Fred Dog 81, appreciate that $10. Has McDowell's playoff run soured you on how good his regular season was? Not that I had high hopes, but spinning out Hendrick has to be low-key one of the dumbest moves by a playoff driver in a long time. I mean, I don't know that I should be necessarily surprised. It's not a place that McDowell is usually at, but it can't be denied of how good a regular season he had and the fact that they looked so dominant at Indianapolis.
Yeah, can't deny that.
And maybe this is a hot take. I actually thought the whole deal with Hendrick wasn't. I actually didn't mind it. Hendrick kind of moved up weirdly on the restart, doored him, could have easily cut his tire down. So what did McDowell do? He just didn't really lift and let Hendrick kind of keep coming down in the turn and spun him out.
Yeah,
I mean that's essentially what the Suarez did to Bowman at Darlington.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Daniel Howanique, I guess that's how you say that. Appreciate the $4.99. Hot take. The hot take segment has morphed into the mostly milk toast a minute, but still love you guys.
Milk toast a minute.
I kind of agree, Daniel.
I think there's usually a couple of us to deliver every week.
Some weeks, though, I am grasping at straws at what to say. Let's be honest.
This was not my finest week either.
Hey, I won this week, so I'll take it.
Darian's was good. Darian had a good one this week.
I did.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Need for Speed 5353. Appreciate that $5. Oh, I already have a cat named Ty. LOL. He's not a fan of the new cat. Okay. Who's someone who's had issues with Ty Dillon in the past?
I don't know.
The Wall?
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
Damn. Winning? I don't know.
Oh, hold on. He's fought somebody before. Who has he fought? I'm gonna
Cole Custer, right? Or no. Was it
Regan Smith? So name him
Regan Smith. Yeah, Regan Smith.
Name him Regan. There you go.
Perfect.
Ty and Regan. West Virginia, appreciate the $4.99. I feel like I am the only person hoping Hendrick lands one of the calling cars in Cup. May not be the best at winning, but dang, he is consistent.
Yeah, true that.
And right now, that might be all they're looking for, too.
Mm-hmm.
I already mentioned this earlier, but again, appreciate the $5. Andy, happy belated birthday wish on the podcast for my wife, Claudia. And thanks so much for that. Love you. Matthew Brown, appreciate the $9.99. HMS fan here. I understand Chase has had run-ins before with Kyle, but a small pit road incident that didn't even hurt his race, and that's Chase's reaction. His short fuse will hurt him long term. I mean, it did earlier at Charlotte.
Yeah.
Andrew Meyer, appreciate that $5 from you. I predicted that Martin Truex Jr. would win the championship and Tyler Reddick would be eliminated in a round of 16. Never let me cook again. Phoebe, again, appreciate that earlier $1.99 super chat saying that former President William Howard Taft will be in the 31 car next year. Video Game Sports, appreciate that $5. Is Kyle Busch on the podium of NASCAR drivers all series of all time? He has over 200 wins. If we're talking all series, then yeah, he's got to be considered to be up there.
Yes.
Isn't it like 40 drivers have won in all the series or something? Like, I mean, yes, but it's not really a giant pool to choose from.
Yeah. In terms of drivers who just showed overall consistency in all the series, I mean, I'd put him up there. I'd put maybe
Mark Martin,
Greg Biffle even.
Yeah. Carl Edwards probably should be up there.
Carl Edwards, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that come to my mind of having success in all the series, like a lot of success. Alex Luff, appreciate that very generous $20 from you. The Chase Elliott Kyle Larson rivalry kind of reminds me of me and my dad with our favorite German soccer teams. It is the most heated rivalry in that league. Doesn't help mine keeps winning, and his team keeps blowing it.
And those soccer leagues, bro, those rivalries, oh my gosh. You got football rivalries and then you got football rivalries.
Hey, I talk a lot about college football, especially the Vols and rivalries of Alabama, Florida, who we got this weekend. They don't compare to the stuff in soccer. That gets deadly even at times.
Yeah. It's
like being around Raiders fans.
Yeah, you may not come home at night. Just saying.
Raiders fans are probably tame compared to some of those.
Yeah.
Fred Dog 81, appreciate that $2. Who ends up throwing fists after Bristol?
Ooh, I'd say Austin Hill for the Xfinity race.
Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson.
Are we talking in the race or in the stands? Because I've seen a lot of fights at Bristol.
Well, hey, if it's in the stands, you already know.
Alcoholic 1 and alcoholic 2.
Yeah. As far as the race, Chase and Larson. There you go.
Chase Elliott and Larson fighting literally behind a driver introduction stage.
Oh my gosh.
But don't film it. That's over the line.
No. I wish he released that video, but I understand.
I don't get the reference, but you guys can tell me later.
Harvick, Elliott, remember?
Oh yeah, with the Bianchi thing.
Yeah.
You stay out of my business that all these cameras are pointed at us.
For real.
Okay. But yeah, that'll do it for all the super chats. Kind of a fast night here. Yeah, we're wrapping up right on time here at the top of the second hour.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all tuning in to NWP tonight here on DannyBTalks. Very interesting sports weekend here. Plenty of racing starting tomorrow, Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm going to have 2 TVs set up on Saturday night, one with the race, one with the Tennessee-Florida game. And I've also got my last regular season fishing tournament of the year this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. And you can join us next week over on Eric's channel. I thought we were just on Eric's channel.
We're back, baby, and better than before.
Back, baby.
But yeah, we'll be on Eric's channel next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. And we'll talk about everything that happened at Bristol and get you set for, Eric's home track of Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
All right.
Until next time.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
See you later.
Goodbye.
It's Bristol, baby.
Hell yeah. Ready. Copy. Right foot down. We got to go, Brad. Unbelievable, man. Way to keep your head in it. Holy boy. Yeah, I'm done with it. It's your pace. Set sail. Steve, you look beautiful. Doing great. Ridiculous, man. Holy. You see that? Holy cow. Good job, man. 2 times, baby. Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah.
The champ. Oh, that's right. I'm the champ. Champ around here. You better acknowledge me.